So, as I said, my granddaughter has been one of my greatest teachers. When she was 4 years old, she insisted that I go take her to Cinderella, to watch Cinderella. And because I was babysitting her at that time. And I thought, oh, it's for her, I'm going to take her to see a movie that she wants to see. And within 10 minutes, I realized the movie was for me, not for her. Because I sat up in my seat when I heard Cinderella say, "Have courage, be kind, and all will be well." That's what her mother taught her, apparently. And that, by the way, encapsulates everything we need to do as a species. We have to have courage to be kind. It takes courage to be kind when everyone is unkind around you, when cruelty is the norm. It takes courage to be a vegan. But if everyone has the courage to be kind, all will be well. Second thing she said was, just because it is what is done doesn't mean it is what should be done. And that's the second principle that we need to adopt today. Just because we have been doing something all along doesn't mean you have to continue doing the same thing. Just because we have been pretending that the sun goes around the earth doesn't mean you have to continue pretending that the sun goes around the earth when you know better, right? So just because we have been following the axiom of supremacism and the axiom of consumerism for the last 10,000 years doesn't mean you have to continue following the same axioms of supremacism and consumerism forever. Because if you do, you're going to be dead. So that's the transformation that needs to happen. And then we need to imagine the world as it should be and act for it, as opposed to the world as it is. What do you want the world to be? Do you want the world to be full of wild animals and nature thriving? Then work for it. We can make that happen. We have to organize around that. So as Buckminster Fuller said, you never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete. And that's the approach that we are taking as well at Climate Healers. We are saying, let's create a new model that's separate from the old model, in which it is based on the correct axioms and in which people are going to thrive. So this is the two loops model of Berkana Institute. Berkana Institute has this two loops model where we are in the climate heating phase, and that's based on the axiom of supremacism and the axiom of consumerism. Okay, and we have heated the planet up. We're doing a really good job of it, heating it up. And now it is chaotic here because you can't really keep doing this over and over. We are going to die if we keep doing it for the next decade even. So then a lot of people are peeling off of this, saying, oh, this is no good. And they're going vegan. This is what I call the vegan contagion model. Veganism is like a contagion, right? So you go and tell others and they go vegan because of what you told them. And so it's an infection. You infect people. And it's a good contagion to have. And as more and more people go vegan, you need to organize around this. So we are the trailblazers who have to create a new loop, a new model that's not based on infinite consumption. It's based on finite consumption. And it's based on regenerating the planet. So that's the climate healing model that we need to create, that we are working on right now. Okay, so we need to create that. And then as it grows, in the 30 years or so, we can reach the climate harmonizing phase. So that's what I want to hand over to my granddaughter and say, it's your job to maintain the climate forever, okay, and thrive on this planet. Now, what happens in this model is that when the sum of the GDP of the old and the new, when that stops growing, the old will collapse. Why? Because it's a Ponzi scheme. Ponzi schemes collapse and it doesn't grow. Okay? People just withdraw their money saying, oh my God, this is not growing anymore. So when that collapses, the illuminators are going to show them, get on this ladder and come over here and join us. So then this grows. This becomes the dominant system. So this is the transformation, a modeling of the transformation from the caterpillar to the butterfly. And COVID-19 has put us in the chrysalis phase of humanity. Okay? Basically, COVID-19 is Mother Nature telling us, go to your room and stay there and think about what you've done and come out as a more enlightened species. And the correct axioms. So the new system has to be based on the true axiom of inner peace, which is the pursuit of happiness is best accomplished by seeking it within ourselves. Which is what we call the self-mastery rule or the finite consumption model. And there are lots of people living according to this. Okay? It's nothing new. And it's something that we have known for thousands of years. Our religion is full of this, right? Looking for inner peace. And the second is the true axiom of unity. Instead of the axiom of supremacism, it's the true axiom of unity, which is that all life is one family where we each bring our unique skills to give all we can, receive all we need, and become all we are. Because every animal has a role to play. Every human being has a role to play. We all have gifts that we can give. And we actually have the capacity to give more than we take. And when we all start giving more than we take, the planet thrives. Because we are contributing to the planet than we are taking from it. This is the metamorphosis analogy. And to me, it is the greatest transformation in human history that has ever happened. And we are here at this time to execute on this. Okay? We are the only generation that has the capacity to do it, that has the strength to do it, and we are the only generation that has the opportunity to do it. Because if we don't do it, the future generations are going to be dead. Okay, so we have that. We have this opportunity. And I'm saying we are on this ledge, okay, high up in the mountain. On either side, you see huge falls. But there is a path towards the light that we can take. And I want to focus on that path. Because, and I don't want to hear anyone behind me telling me how many bones I'm going to break if I fall on either side. This is why I just focus on the path and I say, what is the next step I need to do? What do I need to do next, right? So this greatest transformation requires 4 cultural shifts and 7 civilizational shifts, 7 major civilizational shifts. The cultural shifts are from normalized violence to normal non-violence, meaning slaughterhouses cannot be normal anymore in the new system. Shut them all down. Okay? There is no normalized violence. It's normal non-violence. Non-violence in our dealings with each other, no bullying, none of that stuff. Right? Instead of playing competitive finite games in which there is one winner and all the rest are losers, that's the kind of games we play now. And we play games with using the skin of animals, right? So we bat around a baseball made from the skin of cows. So it's as if we are telling the animals, hey, look who's the boss around here. See, we are so strong. We can kill you, we take your skin and use it to play games, amuse ourselves. So we play all these competitive finite games. Instead, we should be playing collaborative infinite games. Games in which there are no winners and losers. And the object of the game is to continue the game. Okay, because that's what sustainability is. Sustainability is about infinite games, not finite games. Because we want to stay on this planet forever, not just see who's the winner, who gets to go to Mars, and all the rest are going to die. That's not the game we want to play. We have to transition from a predator species to a caretaker species. Now, I'm pointing out to you that before we mastered fire, before we had control of fire, we were the prey species, not a predator species. We were easy to catch. You don't run too fast, you don't climb trees too well, you don't have big claws, you can't even hear too well, can't even see too well. So we were easy to catch. We were a prey species. And that's what forced us to come up with weapons and to protect ourselves. And then we became stronger and stronger and stronger, and we became a predator species. Now we are the top predator on the planet. Okay, but from that, we need to become a caretaker species, because if we don't, we're going to die. So, and that requires us to have a new name. We call ourselves Homo sapiens sapiens, the wise hominid. I mean, I've never had this level of narcissism because we are the ones who naming ourselves. We call ourselves the wise hominid. And I suggest that we adopt Judy Carmen's name that she's come up with for us. It's called Homo ahimsa, which is a combination of a Latin word and a Sanskrit word. So it symbolizes that we are coming together as a species from around the globe, and it describes our character, because ahimsa means non-violence. We are fundamentally non-violent. And the civilizational shifts are from all the isms: speciesism, colonialism, racism, ableism, and patriarchy, from a domination oppression paradigm, to veganism and radical sacredness, treating all life as sacred, all beings as sacred. This is the ahimsa sacred relationships paradigm. From diseases and divisiveness among humanity to health and harmony in diversity among humanity, taking care of each other, okay? Instead of fighting with each other, instead of having war all over the place, and making money of diabetes, making money of heart disease and things like that, to making sure that everyone is healthy, give everyone healthy food. So that's the transition that needs to happen. From destruction and exploitation of the planet to regeneration and caretaking of the planet. We need to start giving more than we take from the planet. Only then will the planet thrive. And we are capable of it. Okay, we are perfectly capable of doing this. It's just that we need a different organization, different way of relating to each other, different game we need to be playing. From violence and cruelty to animals, to kindness and compassion for animals. Animals are here with us, not for us. They are with us, and they each have something important to contribute. And we know that we've already wiped out 7 to 13% of all species on this planet. So it's time to stop the killing machine. I mean, as soon as possible. Because it's like saying 7 to 13% of your organs are gone. And are you feeling healthy? I mean, you lost your liver, you lost your gallbladder. I mean, is that good? So it's time to stop. Okay? So from violence and cruelty to animals to kindness and compassion for animals. From an egocentric culture of consumerism and celebrating the guy who has stolen the most. That's what we do today. Celebrate the people who have stolen the most and who are consuming the most. From that, we need to shift to a culture of accountability, an ecocentric culture of accountability. We all have a role to play. We all have responsibilities. We have a responsibility as a species. As soon as we admit it, that we are changing the climate of the planet, we have the responsibility to harmonize the climate of the planet. And from a mindset of scarcity to a mindset of generosity. Okay? So it needs to be built into the game we are playing, the generosity. Because right now we have scarcity built into the game we are playing, because you start off by saying no one gets anything, right? So you start off with zero. And then we are told, you have to go earn a living. I mean, think about that. We tell everyone, the Creator gave you the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And then we tell the children as they grow up, you have to go earn a living. What happened to the Creator-given, God-given right to life? Why do we have to earn a living if I already have a God-given right to life? So we got conned, right? Into being colonized to do what the master wants. From a profit-driven economy to a service-driven economy, an economy that's built around service to others, service to other beings and to ourselves, to other human beings. So this is the greatest transformation in human history. It's mind-boggling, that we could be living in this new paradigm as opposed to the one that we are in, because everything on the left-hand side is built into the game of money that we are playing today. Okay, and I don't see anything there that I want to preserve. So we have to create a new game of money, a new game of currencies that allow us to do everything on the right-hand side automatically. And that's what I call the vegan currency. So we have to create a vegan currency, Aquarius, a multidimensional measure of ecological footprint. And this could be based on just earth, air, fire, water. You have limits on how much earth you can use, how much fire you can use, how much water you can use, and how much air you can use. Okay, so, and the cost of a product is going to be determined by the ecological footprint in these things. And then you get allowances that flow from the bottom up as opposed to top down. So this way, as it flows up the hierarchy, people know exactly where it came from. It came from the people, not from some emperor somewhere. No, it came from the people. People are the ones who are really serving you, right? So you're in service to people. So the currency flows from the bottom up as opposed to top down. And here, the flow is the same for every individual. So this allows, it's like a heartbeat, okay? It promotes a mindset of abundance and radical equality. And then some of it goes into the pocket of the account. So that means the individual can use it. And some of it goes into the heart of the community. And then the rest accumulates in the heart of the individual. It accumulates in the heart of the individual. And as you do, you're able to tap into it in order to do acts of service to others. But if you don't do any acts of service, let's say someone sits around watching TV all day, then more and more from the heart will flow into the community's heart. And therefore the community gets more from that individual. So it's essentially taxed, right? And then the community has the same kind of architecture as the individual. And by doing that, and you allow the community to make local decisions as to what they need to do about the water that's dirty or the trash that's there or whatever. So they can figure out what they want to use this for. But this can only be done in an open source economy and ecology in which everyone is contributing their knowledge for free. I'm giving my knowledge away for free. I'm not holding on to it because I can make money off of it. Okay? Because I see this as an engineering project. Just like in an engineering project, if I had 70 members of my team and I was doing the internet. And if I had run it like the way they're running the economy today, it wouldn't have worked. Okay, you wouldn't have an internet working. Right? If everyone is backbiting each other and saying it's mine, that's mine, I'm not going to show you what I'm doing, you will not have any collaboration. You will not have any collaborative project working. So this can only be done in an open source economy and ecology in which we all come together as one humanity because we have to solve climate change together. We have to solve the biodiversity loss together. And it's about creating abundance on this planet. Here is a map of all the trees on this planet, density of trees. And you can see vast areas of the planet have no trees left. Why? Because we chopped them down. Half the trees on the planet are gone. Okay, we chop them down. But if you bring back those trees, and if 0.2% of the trees that you plant are mature almond trees, those almond trees can replace all the dairy milk you're consuming this year. Just 0.2% of the trees have to be almond trees. So this is why I say it's about creating abundance. When you create food forests and you create a planet full of fruit and native ecosystems that are full of edible plants, you're going to create abundance on this planet. And when people feel secure, they automatically also have less children. So the 7 strategic actions that we are doing at Climate Healers, number 1 is education. This presentation that I'm giving you is something that we go and give to other people, okay, to schools, colleges. I'm trying to give it to as many people as I can do. And the second thing we are asking is we are petitioning the UN to drop SDG 8, which is economic growth, and replace it with SDG 18, which is Claire Smith came up with this, and this is zero animal exploitation. So kick out SDG 8 and put SDG 18 instead. And if you did that, it will make all the other sustainable development goals easy to meet. And we can actually get serious about meeting them, as opposed to pretending to meet them while just growing the economy. And when you have 17 goals to meet, you typically have to pick one goal and actually meet it. Actually meet it, okay? So that's how I run projects. If I run an engineering project and I have 17 goals to meet, I pick one and I say, let's meet it, guys. Let's get it done. And so I picked goal number 2, which is zero hunger. And I'm saying, let's do it. Let's solve zero hunger. Let's make sure that no one goes hungry on this planet. That will bring us together as a species to help feed everyone. And so we have a specific initiative. I'm going to talk about that soon. But food healers that's the idea behind food healers, is to give everyone, make sure that everyone has access to healthy, immune boosting vegan food, so that everyone can get healthy. Because this is the oxygen mask rule, right? You have to put on your own oxygen mask first before you go help others. We have a planet that's dying. Before we go and help other beings on this planet, we have to first take care of our health as a species. We need to make sure that human beings are fed well. Okay? Then we have to come up with a new constitution to heal the planet. The old constitutions, the way we broke things up into nations, these were lines drawn on a map by some colonial ruler from 200 years ago, and we're still sticking to those things. We need to figure out a different way of organizing ourselves, so that is centered around, the ecosystems and the watersheds, natural boundaries, as opposed to artificial boundaries drawn by some fellow with a ruler. Okay. And we need to then create this open source economy game, and we need to start playing it. And when we start playing with this open source economy game, eventually people will say, hey, I'd rather be there than over here to get oppressed. So they will come along. And then we need to get the religions of the world together on this, okay? Because the religions of the world are well organized at the grassroots. And we are all being conned. No religion ever said that consumerism, infinite consumerism, is what we need to be all doing. No religion ever said that might is right. But we have been deceived into thinking that that's what it is. So we need to get the religions to wake up and say, come together, we are all talking about the same things. We're all talking about healing the planet and taking care of all life and taking care of each other. So let's get together and do it. And finally, we have to have a new ecology creating food for us around the world. So those are the 7 strategic actions that we talk about during our convergences. And then specifically on November 19th of this year, we're going to make this announcement on April 24th. We're going to make a big press splash on this. We want to feed every human being on the planet a healthy vegan meal on that day. So this is the equivalent of the salt march that Gandhi did, right? He said, yeah, we're going to go make salt and we're going to eat it, and we're not going to pay tax for it. So it was a defiance of the colonial system that he did. In the same way, the colonial system wants us to eat bad food and get sick. No, on this one day, we're going to make sure that everyone has access to healthy food. And everybody is going to eat. Okay, so let's make that happen on one day. And in the process of making that happen, we'll figure out all the infrastructure that we need to make it happen every week, and then eventually every day. I really think that the grandmothers of the world should get together to make this happen. Okay? The women of the world, the vegan women, should help make this happen, because this is taking back the power from the patriarchs who are running the disease-ridden system that we are in today.